Hello Aquarius, welcome to your tarot card reading for the month of August. My name is Wendy and I give you a very warm welcome to this tarot card reading. Today I will be using the beautiful, gorgeous Robin Wood Tarot. So Aquarius, let's see what's coming up for you in the month of August. Of course, you have that full moon happening in your sign on August 9. So when full moons happen in our own signs, it's kind of like a little spotlight on us. It's a profound, I think, a feeling of comfort, but also a feeling of closure. You may notice that around this full moon, you feel like you're ready to move on with something, you're done with something. You see something for what it is, or everything culminates. Full moons bring culmination and often closure. So we'll explore that in this reading too. Aquarius. Nine of Cups. I'm just going to pull cards, and then once they're on the table, we will start talking. The Tower. Yep. There's a wake-up call happening this month, Aquarius. The Sun. Wow. Okay. Before we go any further, I feel that August, the general theme is exploring what is in your heart. A place of profound personal truth. Some of you may have been prioritizing something that wasn't really good for you in the long term. It may have benefited you in the short term. It may have been some kind of indulgence. You may have also just been choosing something from a more, how do I say this politely? It feels like with this Nine of Cups, it kind of feels like you've maybe been choosing something that wasn't quite good for you or healthy for you, but it felt good on the surface, or it felt good in the moment. So the Nine of Cups can be this like overindulgence. It can sometimes indicate that we like to have a little secret, or maybe we're doing something. Like maybe I feel like there's a relationship of power. You're kind of analyzing or experiencing this definition of power in August. What does it mean to have power? What does it mean to feel powerful? And with the Nine of Cups, the nines always indicate the self. And with cups, there's this feeling of indulgence and emotionality. Sometimes health is indicated with this as well. And so in terms of power, sometimes we keep secrets for the sake of feeling powerful, or we keep little things to ourselves. I'm not sure. We all have these things that are just for us alone. And I don't know if you're necessarily doing it with the intention of creating a power dynamic. What I think is happening here, and you could be, let me just give a disclaimer, you could be watching this, witnessing this happen to somebody else. But again, these indulgences, these things that are just momentary pleasures, are not as fulfilling anymore. And I think there's this journey toward true power, true identity, true creation. I do feel like I'm hearing the word avoidance. There's been an avoidance of something, and there's been a prioritizing of something that maybe you knew couldn't work long term, or couldn't go long term, or you were doing it because, I'm hearing procrastination, avoidance. And there's definitely a wake-up call happening in August. And I think around this moon that could really illuminate something for you, because the sun will be opposite you. The sun is opposite you during Leo season, and it's exactly opposite to create the illumination, the full illumination of the moon on August 9. And because the moon is going to be in your sign on that day, again, it's like that little spotlight that we were talking about. And this is such a profound change of priorities, change of identity. You've been Like what does it mean to shine? What does it mean to feel powerful? I think health is really huge this month too for you, because I see the Sun card. So there's an emphasis on vitality. What makes you feel good? What energizes you? What makes you feel strong? This Nine of Cups could have been something habitual. Like, as a very mundane example, you've been drinking 2 coffees every morning to get going, but actually you might feel more energized if you don't do that, right? I love my coffee. I'm not trying to preach here, but I do think that there is a deep, profound look at what matters to you. You know, when I see the Tower card, there is a blow to the ego. There's a bit of an ego death happening in this card. You see how these people have built, basically the story is they're trying to build this tower to heaven, to be closer to the divine, to be physically close, right? So we're prioritizing the material world. We're prioritizing things that are not really good for us and that don't truly embody or symbolize our connection to the divine. You may find that you feel closer to the divine when you're just in nature, when you're on the ground, when you're looking at the sky, when you're amongst the flowers, for example. And the creation element, what does it mean to create? Because with the Tower, these people are isolated from the world. And so some of us maybe have been isolating, or we thought we were keeping ourselves safe by building this tower and kind of locking ourselves away, just saying no to things. And again, there's like this strong, I feel a strong no, I feel a strong avoidance, I feel strongly that you've been putting something off or not addressing something, but this month kind of challenges you to do that. So there's massive changes happening to your external reality, your structures, everything that you know to be true, your routine, what you thought you could rely upon might really change this month. Jobs, relationships, the self. I think you're going through a profound change to yourself. You have Pluto in your sign in the very beginning degree of Aquarius. So Pluto is the Tower for you this month. It's bringing this. I talked about this in my Leo new moon video, and of course the new moon happened 2 weeks before your full moon is happening. So there's a continuing theme of destruction versus creation. And again, what does it mean to have power? What does it mean to feel powerful? Instead of destroying, what if I continue to create? What if I continue to expand? What if I continue to shine and believe in what I'm creating and not keep it hidden away, but share it more, share it with the world? With the Sun, there's this announcement, a ribbon cutting, a grand opening. It feels like you're introducing yourself to the world. I'm seeing a mirror and I'm hearing that you're introducing yourself to yourself. You're just in a stage of life where you're changing. You know, we go through these stages, these changes at multiple times in our lives, and that's okay. We're meant to evolve. We're meant to learn and change according to our experiences and our wisdom. That's resilience. Resilience is our ability to adapt and change when everything else around us is changing. And when everything feels like it is out of our control. I always see in readings the Tower is meant to happen. The Tower is coming to liberate you. It can look a little bit scary. People kind of wince when they see me pull it, but the Tower is meant to happen. And I think all along you kind of could sense it, because ask yourself, like looking back, Could you see this thing really going on forever? Could you imagine this? Could you imagine yourself doing this in the future? Chances are we already kind of know intuitively, because you just can't envision it. If you can't envision something, chances are it's not meant for you. Maybe it's meant to serve its purpose at that time, and there is always this lesson that comes with that experience. The lesson, your wisdom. You gain wisdom from this experience. It's not easy because, again, the Tower is coming to change so much in your external life. That life as you knew it is changing in a really big way. But because you have Pluto in your sign, again, it's going to do that destructive thing because it wants to tear something down, but then it's also going to rebuild. And you're going to rebuild from the ground up, from a true place of creativity, connecting maybe to the solar plexus, the part of you that connects, shines out to the world, gives and receives energy. But I see more visibility here for you. And I think also maybe just sharing your experience. Maybe that's what the sun is. You know that your experience has value and that your story has value. So you want to share that with other people and help them or inspire them. So you're ready to talk about it. You want to show something that's been hidden. Maybe this is not even you. It's a discovery you're making. But there is something that's going to absolutely rock your world. And I think it would benefit you to share that with other people or expose it. I think we're going to see a lot of things exposed because the sun has also been opposite Pluto as it's been in Leo, right? Pluto's in Aquarius, the sun has been in Leo. And when the sun opposes Pluto, there's a profound investigative quality, things being unearthed. Like, we are really able, it's like an X-ray, like we are able to see directly through or directly under what has been on the surface. I think for a lot of you, your health is indicated here. There's just this feeling of, I'm kind of sluggish, or I'm not quite happy with what I've been doing, or I know I've been, it's summertime, I've been like indulging too much in something. And so there's just this, I'm feeling like something's been swollen, something's been inflamed. And I'm getting a connection to the knees, the ankles. Aquarius rules the ankles, of course. So there's this something swollen, inflammation maybe in the body. And okay, I've got to change, right? The Tower is like that moment. Okay, I understand. Like lightning strikes. Okay, I've got to change. Let's go forward with truth, in health. I want to be energized. And I think a lot of you are going to feel reborn in a way, like energized, new, youthful. Got all this energy again. Wow, what a change. I'm so ready to shine. Something that's really been hidden and buried is about to be unearthed. I feel like I'm yelling. Wow, it's a good reading. Okay, Aquarius, show me more for August. The Knight of Cups. The King of Swords. All right, I acknowledge that there's like a discipline happening here. The King of Swords is saying, the Knight of Cups is like similar to the 9. Like, yeah, I'm floating along just wherever the tides take me. Today I have a crush on this person. Tomorrow I have a crush on this person. Or maybe you just feel completely like directionless and you feel kind of lost and confused. The Knight of Cups is not always love. The Knight of Cups can be an attraction to somebody, but it changes. So this is important, like to ask yourself what is permanent, or permanence is never granted, but I think we know when things have the potential to be long-term What is long term in your life? What is reliable? What's dependable? What is steadfast? What's going to be there? And so that King of Swords is like an important conversation, or a person with, gosh, he could be a lawyer. He could be a doctor. He's a professional who has the information. He knows he's skilled. He's an expert. So there's an expert this month looking at what's going on, looking beneath the surface, pulling the hood up, looking underneath it, doing the x-ray, looking at what's going on, as a metaphor. Maybe it's really that, but he knows the solution. So this is somebody you want to listen to. When this King of Swords shows up, you want to listen to him. And it doesn't mean that you lack your own authority, but this is just a person you trust. And I think there's almost a confession or a conversation happening with this person. Maybe the King of Swords just symbolizes this conversation. It's like, I need to speak my truth. I need to really talk about this. Like, if I'm going to find a solution, I have to talk through it, sort of thing. So applying logic. He's helping apply logic to that Knight of Cups, who's so in his emotions and so in his indulgences that he can't really figure out where he feels safe or stabilized. This could also go back to something in childhood, developmental stages, of course, where the person maybe didn't have stability or didn't have someone to rely upon. And in fact, what they came to rely upon was chaos. This is somebody who maybe doesn't even know that stability can exist for them, because all they've known through their whole life is adapting, right? When we're in survival mode, we're constantly adapting. When we define ourselves as resilient, well, how many tower moments have you gone through in your life? Some of us go through tower after tower after tower, but it's because we're not rebuilding the foundation in a true way. We're just rebuilding it the same we have. We're not even building a foundation. We're just putting the structure up without anything to hold it. So, you want to let something unfold and take its time to really make sure it's stable, engineer it so that it can actually have staying power. The Seven of Swords. Now, the High Priestess on the bottom too. The Seven of Swords is a controversial card because he also acts alone, moves and doesn't want the spotlight. This is somebody who does not want the spotlight, because if they get the spotlight, it will melt everything that they have built. So this is not a stable foundation because it can only move in darkness. The problem is the world is half light and half dark, so you have to consider the light when you're building this. It can't just move in darkness. You have to consider how you'll move in public. But the Seven of Swords is somebody who does things differently. It is Moon in Aquarius, actually. So this is a person who I see as an activist, a researcher, somebody who sees the world differently and navigates differently. They just take a different path. Of course, sometimes this can indicate a criminal, right? He's thieving, he's stealing swords from the enemy's camp. But that's the point, is he's kind of going undercover. I don't know, I feel like if somebody does this, they're going to get caught because they didn't think it through enough. They just kind of went, I'm hearing the word whimsy. And it feels like somebody might get caught if they're trying to do some kind of undercover investigation or research of some kind. I feel like that person will be exposed. And I also feel that there's someone here who maybe doesn't tell their full story as an act of self-protection. So like they have the professional resources, but they're not fully honest. Like they're not fully honest with their lawyer. They're not fully honest with their doctor. And so as a result, they're not going to get the right help that they need because they feel profoundly alone and they prefer to move alone through this world. I will say from like an existential point of view, I am a spiritual person, but I'm also an existentialist. In fact, I sometimes even feel like a nihilist. And I think that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Like there's this awareness that we are all alone. I'm seeing it's 11:11 on the clock, so that's nice. Nihilism. Oh, a synchronicity. That's funny. The universe is funny. So anyway, this person has this awareness that we are alone. And for some that can be liberating, for some that can be really scary. For some of us, it encourages us to be strong. But for others, it encourages us to like not care if there's no stakes other than myself, right? To me, there's a little bit of chaos happening this month. And my throat is feeling profoundly sore as I'm saying this. I've only done your reading so far today, but I feel like I've been talking for days. So you may be talking until your throat is raw. The conversation needs to happen. There will be a confrontation of some kind. For others of you, if you're looking to grow business or love, I know a lot of people look for love and career when they come to readings, but I just kind of go with whatever the story is telling me from the cards. And I think it applies to many different things in life. But there will be this conversation. There could even be a dichotomy. Somebody is like, they're both. In the daylight, they're one thing. At the nighttime, they're another. That can be kind of fun from an artistic perspective. Like, how do you move through those different phases? But again, to remember that there's not just darkness, there is also light. So how do you move through the light as well? Some of you may need a change of scenery, a change of routine, you get this brilliant idea to go and explore the hidden elements of the mind, or the hidden elements of your city, or the hidden elements of something that people don't typically look for. You may actually have this inquisitive mind and this ambition to conduct the research, to learn as much as you can, to walk in those shoes. Some of you actually doing like a walking tour or visiting a site where something took place. You've got the Four of Pentacles. The Ten of Swords. Okay, so Aquarius, I really see that keeping something to yourself, holding it in, will destroy you. And we end with the Six of Wands. So Four of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Something is really hidden here. I feel like something happens unexpectedly. Like maybe your approach is to take them by surprise because you move in darkness. You want to take them by surprise. There's a surprise here. It feels like somebody returns, or somebody comes out of this wanting to do the right thing. I think there's just a wake-up call about having been quite isolated. Like, where's the balance? Where's the line between being self-protective and just being completely isolated? Because I feel it deep down. The soul is yearning for something else. You are yearning for something else. And it's like, I want to confess, I want to talk about it, you might notice little hints. I feel like the Knight of Cups kind of indicates these leaks happening where I just can't keep it in anymore, or like little slips. Like, you might notice if you're looking for the truth in someone. I feel like some of you are parents, or if you're in a relationship, you'll notice like little slips. I think some of you are watching the tower fall from a distance and you're feeling pretty validated. I think you're feeling pretty validated watching this tower fall. You might see somebody brought to justice. I don't know if some of you work for a government or like a legislative body. Something feels very official this month. It's official. It is, I'm hearing ordained. It is declared. An officiation ceremony, perhaps. You know, it's funny because I just pulled these cards, but I can feel them pushing me away. They don't want me to read them. And that being said, Aquarius, with the Six of Wands coming out, maybe it's like someone has good intentions when they want to help, or they want to, like, let's talk about this, like, I need to understand, but maybe that person's not ready to talk. Maybe they're not ready to be pushed. Maybe they talk and then they run away. Maybe you have a really beautiful conversation with someone you were getting to know, and then they ghost you. It's because they have this wound. They're afraid to share. They're afraid to open up. That's why they keep building this tower to hide in. And they go through this unending cycle. And if they don't acknowledge that they're stuck in this loop, then they're never going to change the pattern. There's an admission of defeat this month. And so if you need to admit defeat to yourself, or maybe a working professional, someone who could help you, it's kind of like, okay, this pain in my back is no longer ignorable. Okay, my finances are really suffering. It's no longer ignorable. There's this admission of defeat, but also I feel like this person there's like a savior aspect to the Six of Wands. Like, I want to come in to do the right thing. I'm guided by my heart. I want to help. I want to make the world a better place. And so maybe someone's having a massive awakening. They want to change their ways. Other people are wanting to help this person, but they're not ready. And so all you can do is just continue to be there, continue to be constant, steadfast, reliable, right? Showing up consistently for them, but protecting yourself at the same time, like protecting your energy, making sure that you're not exhausting yourself to help somebody else. There's a lot going on in this reading, I think, socially, politically, legally, emotionally, and psychologically as well, but I feel like those are kind of the after effects. Like, obviously this affects the person, but they maybe don't really have time to like sit and think about it yet. But I feel like there's a lot of information coming out this month. There's realizations, there's just massive awakening. That King of Swords is really important because you are saying something out loud. You're declaring your intentions. The more that you say it, the more that you speak it, the more it becomes real. Like, the universe is listening. If you have the courage to discuss, say, universe, I want this, right? The more that you say this out loud, the more the universe responds to it. It shows that you're confident. It shows that you mean it. So if there's something you're trying to bring in, and at the very end of this reading, it's occurring to me that some of you have been wishing for something at a soul level, and I think it shows up, but it really challenges you. 1122. Ooh, as soon as I said that, it switched to 1123. See these little glimpses, and then it's kind of gone. It feels like something is hard to grasp this month. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to grasp. It's like sand slipping through your fingers, but with enough determination, and if you cup your hands the right way, you can still collect the sand and put it into your bucket. So it takes determination, it takes resilience, it takes the dedication to your vision and how you want to be in service to the world, or something you want to change. So if it's just at a very personal level, there's something that you want to change, and you have the power to do it this month. But the method or the structure has to change. I feel like for a lot of you looking for love, it's just like, you need somebody on your level. Maybe, I don't know, are you afraid of commitment? Are you crave the intimacy, but also it scares you? Like, that's what I mean. There's kind of this, like, it's good for me, but I also know that it's kind of bad for me in a way, because it threatens something about my understanding of the world. But then we have this Tower card, so let the tower fall and let the truth come out. I think illusions will be revealed. Like, we're going to realize something has been an illusion. Maybe a relationship, something you might have actually idolized or looked up to, someone you looked up to. I don't know, a relationship could crumble. I just think you're going to realize some stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, and it's not what we thought, right? It's not what we saw on the surface. There's a lot underneath this that is actually quite unstable. And so before we go any further, somebody does need to access this King of Swords to get the help, the information, the truth, in order to move forward. I think it's sad because I think good intentions are there. But somebody just really struggles with inner pain. And they kind of get lost in that sometimes. I feel that Jupiter is strong in your reading. So Jupiter's in Cancer right now, which quincunxes you. It's a bit of an awkward angle, but Jupiter as a theme brings justice. Jupiter expands. I'm hearing that Uranus is actually stronger. Justice will come, but Uranus has to throw the lightning bolt first. So I'm going to leave that there. If you want a personal reading with me, Aquarius, I'd love to read your cards. I'll just leave my email address in the description box. All my readings are $50 Canadian, or pay what you can. So I'd love to read for you. Book with me, email me, let's do it. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and I hope to see you again very soon.